Homestyle chicken is quick, comforting, and extremely tasty. Real everyday Jamaican food. Growing up, this was what my mother made on weeknights or Sundays when she didn't have time to do the most but still wanted something proper on the table. Lately though, this homestyle recipe has been showing up everywhere. Restaurants, cook shops, even street food spots. So I want to talk about it a little. Homestyle also goes by a few other names like stew down chicken or fry and cook down. Every household has a version of this dish, but today I'm going to show you how I make it to max out its flavor. If you're confused how this is different from brown stew and fricassee chicken, I will cover that too. So, without wasting too much time, let's jump right in. I have about a whole chicken's worth of mixed parts. I bought them just like this from the meat shop. When buying mixed parts, if you don't specify what cut you want, they will just give you random pieces and pieces they have a lot of. I'm not too fussy about the specific cut of chicken for this dish though. Homestyle makes everything tender and juicy, whether that's leg, thigh, breast or back. I already gave this chicken a light vinegar wash and clean them up, so it's time to season them. People season homestyle chicken all kinds of ways, but I really like to keep mine simple and straightforward. You really don't have to do too much. Start with a good sprinkle of salt. I'm making sure the chicken is properly seasoned from early. Next, a bit of black pepper. I'm skipping it today, but powdered seasoned blends work great for this dish too. Use whatever brand you like, just be mindful of how salty it already is. Now for the aromatics. Onion powder. Give that a generous sprinkle. And then about the same amount of garlic powder. Time for some fresher flavors. This is green season, a blend of fresh herbs and spices, basically an all-purpose Jamaican marinade. I have a detailed video on how to make it and I'll be sure to link that below. I'm adding 2 big tablespoons to this chicken, and at this point all that's left now is to mix everything together. When it comes to restaurant, there usually isn't any special season made just for homestyle chicken. Most Jamaican spots that sell fried chicken, which is basically all of them, season a big batch of chicken for frying, and then use some of that same seasoned chicken to make homestyle. I think that's one of the big reasons homestyle has gotten so popular in restaurants and cook shops. It doesn't take any extra work to add it to the menu. The ingredients are already prepped, the chicken is already seasoned, and you get a dish with a completely different taste and vibe from fried chicken or brown stew. This batch here looks nicely seasoned, so I'm going to let it marinate for a couple of hours. You can give it as little as 30 minutes and still get good flavor, but overnight will always give you the best results. Once the chicken is marinated, we're going to brown it, and this is where a few key differences show up between brown stew, fricassee and homestyle chicken. For brown stew chicken, it's usually chopped small into near bite-sized pieces. It's browned deeply or sometimes caramelized with a little bit of sugar. It's then simmered down into a thick, rich gravy with a slightly sweet undertone. Similar to homestyle, fricassee is usually made from bone-in pieces seared with a little bit of oil. It has a more refined vibe and it's more of a proper Sunday dinner. As for homestyle chicken, the biggest difference is how we brown it, and it's crazy how this one change transforms the flavor of this dish. This is some rendered chicken fat. I make it whenever I clean up chicken, so I always have a little bit chilling somewhere. It has a savory, almost nutty flavor that works beautifully with fried food and stews. I don't have quite enough chicken fat for this batch, so I'm just going to top it off with a bit of regular oil. Or we could just use regular oil. You want enough fat for at least a shallow fry. This is the fry part of our fry and cook down. Let that oil get ripping hot. The goal here isn't to cook the chicken through. We just want good color and flavor on the outside. Before the chicken goes in, I'm just getting rid of the excess marinade. Those little bits of fresh seasoning burn easily, so you want to reduce that as much as possible. This is actually one of the advantages of using mostly powdered seasonings instead of a fresh marinade like mine. All we're looking for is a nice even browning on every piece. These are still essentially raw, so they can go back with the rest of the uncooked chicken. That actually helps with the workflow and keeps the process moving smoothly. Frying is all about getting color, so we can really crank the heat to get there. In a restaurant, this step fits perfectly into the regular fried chicken workflow. We'll just skip the dredge and go straight to browning. That browning adds incredible flavor to the chicken, and all of it carries over nicely into the sauce. It gives a completely different depth than simply searing with a small amount of oil. And it's not only quicker than a sear, it's more even too. Once all the chicken is browned, we're going to pour off almost all of that oil. I want to leave just a little to help build our sauce. If you're unsure whether the brown bits are burnt, just taste them. A slight bitterness with flavor is fine, but if it's too burnt, you'll know immediately. For the sauce, I'm starting with 3 smashed cloves of garlic, 1 sliced onion, 2 stalks of chopped scallion, 1 sliced carrot, and for a bit of heat, 1 Trinidad pimento pepper. Next, we saute these aromatics to develop extra flavor. Not everyone does this, but skipping it means leaving a lot of flavor on the table. Once everything is fragrant and just starting to brown, we add about 2 to 2.5 cups of water. Homestyle chicken gravy is usually on the lighter side, so we don't need anything too heavy. Next, I'm adding just under a cup of tomato ketchup. That little bit of acidity really brightens the dish and makes the flavors more dynamic. Then, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm using a local Jamaican brand, and a lot of local soy sauces are very dark, even if they're not labeled as dark soy. So this adds a nice amount of color as well. I'm just going to cover this and let it simmer for a few minutes before we move on. Alright, now we can add our fried chicken to the sauce. As it simmers and cooks through, all those brown flavors from frying will release into the gravy, creating a really delicious chicken forward sauce. Don't forget that leftover marinade and resting juices in our pan. It's a sin to waste flavor, so make sure to get all of that into our pot. I talked a lot about restaurants making homestyle chicken, but this started at home as a quick and simple dish that still hits all the flavors Jamaicans love. It's very nostalgic for me and has always been one of my favorite dishes my mom would cook. At this point, it should take about 20 more minutes for the chicken to fully cook. Because this is a stew, there's plenty of margin. We don't have to worry about overcooking. Once everything is in the pot, I'm going to cover it and let it simmer, letting all those flavors melt together. While our chicken is simmering, we can start on a pot of rice and peas. This is probably the most common side for this dish, but dumplings and boiled foods like yam and banana are also popular with homestyle chicken. I won't go into the full rice and peas method here since I've already detailed videos showing exactly how to get it perfect and how to easily switch it up to fit your exact taste. I will make sure to link all of that below. For a rich and nuttier coconut flavor, I like to use fresh coconut. If it's been in the fridge, it separates into coconut cream, which is more concentrated and gives the rice a nice depth. Make sure to use fresh aromatics like scallion, thyme, and a little scotch bonnet for those bright fresh flavors. A bit of green seasoning can also give it an extra kick. Cooking the coconut for a few minutes first really develops its flavor before adding the washed rice. Adjust your water levels if needed, then taste and tweak the seasoning at this stage. That way, you know the flavor is perfect before the rice is fully cooked. Then reduce to low and let it simmer slowly. After about 20 to 30 minutes, your rice and peas should be perfectly cooked. Fluff the rice lightly for the best texture and presentation. And just look at that. Delicious, perfectly cooked rice and peas ready to go with our homestyle chicken. And speaking of homestyle chicken, it's done. Once the meat is tender, it's ready to serve. You could even simmer it a little longer if you want that extra fall apart texture. To finish this, I want a bit of that fresh thyme flavor, so I'm adding a bit of fresh thyme because dry thyme is a scam. This is not something my mom did, but a lot of restaurants do, and that's to add a little bit of butter. It gives the gravy a subtle richness and smoothness that's really delicious. I'm just going to let this simmer for a couple more minutes. That bang off of gravy isn't just tasty, it's also super functional. In a restaurant setting, keeping this dish in a warmer works beautifully. The sauce prevents the chicken from drying out, so it stays moist and juicy throughout service. That's one more reason why homestyle chicken has become a restaurant favorite. And that is it. Proper Jamaican homestyle chicken. That looks incredible. Quick, simple and straightforward. I went ahead and plated it with our rice and peas and some stir fried red cabbage. It looks amazing, but now the real test. Let's taste it. Wow, that is impressive. Despite being lighter, homestyle chicken always has a deeper, more savory chicken flavor than either fricassee or brown stew. It's homey and comforting, and the little addition of butter adds a light, creamy element that I really enjoy. The biggest reason homestyle chicken has become so popular in restaurants isn't just because it's quick, simple, holds well, or is low effort, although all of that matters. My honest take is that it tastes like home. It mirrors the food we'll cook for ourselves and bring a sense of comfort and familiarity. All the preparation techniques, frying, cook down, simple seasoning, make it super easy for the restaurants to add to their menu while giving customers that pure nostalgia we all love. Delicious.
Man, I bought the restaurant, my seafood restaurant, right by A Street, but the only restaurant by A Street. Chicken, steamed fish, brown stew fish, yeah man, curry kong, steamed fish, everything there, right by A Street, by that Louis Street.
So you might have noticed that I haven't uploaded a lot of videos recently, and that's because I've been dealing with a lot of post-Hurricane Melissa challenges. It's been over a month since the disaster and I still don't have electricity at home. You could argue the utility company is moving slowly, but honestly I'm not sure either way. Hurricane Melissa was devastating, especially in areas where it made landfall. The winds were so strong that they stripped almost every tree bare. You could literally see the hurricane path from space because the trees were all brown. In many places, the power grid was completely destroyed, with every light pole down and massive damage to power stations. So it's essentially rebuilding the grid, not just repairing it, and that's a huge challenge, especially with so much infrastructure damage. I am no expert, but I can imagine it takes a lot of time and effort, and there are likely many challenges behind the scenes. For now, I'm running a generator, which is extremely expensive and definitely not a replacement for grid power. That limits how often I can make videos and increases the cost of producing each one. Hopefully things will be fully restored soon. I'm already seeing massive progress, so fingers crossed. In the meantime, thank you all for your support and well wishes. I'll be back to making regular delicious videos soon, so stay tuned. I'm Nick. Make sure you try some homestyle chicken sometime. Thanks for watching, bless up, and I'll catch you in the next one.